What is the spiritual dream meaning of a great white shark? Think about this for a second. Cleopatra. We all remember how her story ends, right? But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if her death wasn't about losing a war? What if it was about refusing to face the absolute predator she had become? For 21 years, she wasn't just a queen. She was Egypt. She spoke 9 languages. She commanded her own armies. To Rome, she wasn't just some problem. She was a threat so real, it made the entire empire hold its breath. She was brilliant, absolutely terrifyingly relentless. And in that power, she was completely and utterly alone. She moved through the world with total authority and zero apology. Let's just call it what it was. In every spiritual sense, she was a great white shark. Kings feared her, and she used that fear. She circled, she struck, she survived. Right up until the moment she didn't. When Octavian's armies finally had her trapped in Alexandria, she saw the net closing. She felt the walls narrowing. And what did she do? She didn't fight. She didn't run. She calmly pressed a snake to her skin and chose the venom. Why? Why would the most powerful apex predator of the ancient world choose death over being paraded through Rome in chains? Because she knew a fundamental truth, deep in her bones. A predator in a cage is already dead. Okay, so what does some ancient queen have to do with you? Everything. Her choice is the exact same choice your subconscious is throwing in your face right now with this dream. Are you going to surrender to the pressure, let the deep take you, or are you going to swim through it? Let's be blunt. Where in your life are you pretending the water is safe? You know, when you can feel that enormous, dark shape moving just beneath the surface, but you keep telling yourself it's nothing. And let's get even more honest. Where are you, the shark? Circling, powerful, capable, but you're playing the part of the scared swimmer, just trying to stay afloat. Where are you lying to yourself about your own teeth? Your subconscious did not pick this symbol out of a hat. Out of every creature that has ever existed, it shows the most ancient, the most feared, the most perfectly designed apex predator. This is not a gentle nudge. This is a fire alarm. 450 million years. An animal so evolutionarily perfect that it hasn't had to change. You think your mind picked that by accident? No. That is a message, and it is screaming at you. And hey, this isn't just some spiritual metaphor. Psychology backs this up hard. From a cognitive behavioral view, your mind is literally creating a crisis to shock you out of complacency. In relational psychology, that shark is the massive, unspoken truth in a relationship that everyone is pretending not to see. This hits home especially for women, right? We're so often trained to calm the waters, to make everything look fine. This dream cuts right through that conditioning. It's shouting, stop performing safety, you are not safe. And the worst part is, you already know it. This is why this dream is so incredibly significant. It demands a full reckoning. No half measures, no meditating it away. It is a raw demand for action. So, what is the action it's demanding? It points to 5 core things. 1. Primal power, the real unfiltered you. 2. Unconscious depths, all the knowledge you've been avoiding. 3. Fear and respect, what your gut is yelling at you. 4. Survival instinct. And 5. The misunderstood force, that part of you others might call dangerous, but is actually essential. It's all pointing to a power in you that can't be ignored any longer. Let's zero in on that survival instinct. A great white doesn't hesitate. It doesn't make a pro-con list. It moves from pure, undeniable instinct. And that is the crucial point here. Your dream is telling you point blank that you have been thinking and rethinking a decision that your gut made a long, long time ago. Your instinct is the shark. You have to trust it. You have to act on it now. So no, this dream isn't just random anxiety. It's not decoration. It is your deepest self, rising up from the ocean floor, demanding that you stop swimming in circles and start moving with intention. So the choice is clear. Cleopatra felt the net closing, and she chose to die rather than be caged. You're being given a chance to choose differently, to see the net and swim right through it, to move, to survive. What are you going to do? Part 2. So you're dreaming of a great white shark. Let's get one thing straight. Your subconscious isn't sending you a cute little postcard. This is a full-blown precision intervention, and you need to listen up. Look, not all shark dreams are created equal. The details, the specific scenario playing out in your head, that's the message. So let's start with the ones that feel like an alarm bell you literally can't hit snooze on. Yeah, I'm talking about the dreams that jolt you awake, your heart just pounding in your chest. They aren't subtle, they're demanding your attention, like right now. Okay, let's get into the most common one, the chase. And look, it is so easy to just write this off as, oh, I'm just anxious. No, you absolutely cannot dismiss this. And that last point is everything. This dream isn't about some vague floating fear. No, it's about a specific conversation you're dodging, a boundary you will not set. Get this, the shark isn't the real threat. It's the crystal clear truth that you are desperately running away from. So what do? The action has to be immediate. The second you wake up from this dream, you identify what you're running from. You stop running. And you turn around and you face it. I'm not talking about tomorrow or next week. I mean today. Okay, but what happens when the chase ends? When that shark actually attacks you? This dream is not messing around. We're talking about a 5-alarm fire in your soul. An attack dream means that whatever situation you've been minimizing, well, it's already drawn blood. You're deep in denial, telling everyone and yourself that you can handle it, that you're fine, all while you are emotionally, maybe even financially bleeding out. This dream is a flat-out intervention. And here's the thing. Here's why this happens. This dream, it often shows up for women who have just normalized situations that should be absolute non-negotiable deal breakers. Your tolerance for pain has gotten so high that your own subconscious has to send in an apex predator just to get you to pay attention. So your job right now is to ask yourself this question with brutal, radical honesty. Because if the answer is no for them, then it's an absolute no for you, period. This dream, it's your deadline. All right, then you've got the circling dream. This one's different. It's more psychological, kind of more insidious. It's that creepy feeling of being watched, sized up. It means there is a predatory energy somewhere in your life, could be a person, could be a situation, and it's just studying you, waiting for you to show a moment of weakness. Or, and this is a big one, maybe you're the one doing the circling, endlessly orbiting a decision you know you have to make. Either way, the goal is the same, to wear you down until you just stop swimming. You cannot stop. The only way out of this loop is to shatter the pattern. First, you have to name the dynamic, see it for exactly what it is. Then, you make a move that breaks the script, do something completely unpredictable, something the predator would never expect. The circling stops the instant you decide you're done being prey. Okay, so let's shift gears now. Let's move on to a totally different kind of shark dream. This one isn't about an immediate, in-your-face threat. It's all about perspective. It's about where you are in relation to that shark. So this dream usually breaks down into two very different scenarios. On the one hand, maybe you're safe. You're watching the shark from a boat or from the shore. You've got perspective, sure, but you're not actually in the water, not really living. On the other hand, maybe you are in the water, but it's so murky you can't see anything. You just feel the threat, but you refuse to look at it straight on. So if you're the one watching from the safety of the boat, this is the question for you. You've built all these walls to keep yourself safe, but have those walls turned into a cage? I'm not saying you have to dive in headfirst with the sharks, but you do have to get back in the water. But what if you're the one in the murky water? Well, your job is totally different. You have to force clarity into this situation. This is the dream of suppressed knowing. Your gut, your intuition, it already knows the truth. The water is only going to clear up when you stop kicking up the mud with your own avoidance. And all of this, it leads us right to the final stage of these dreams, the ones that have nothing to do with threat or avoidance. No, these are about pure, raw, unadulterated power. So picture this. You're swimming peacefully right alongside the shark. I have to tell you, this dream is rare. It's incredibly profound. It means you've finally reached a state of integration with your own primal power. You're not afraid of your own strength anymore. You're not apologizing for it. Your conscious mind and your subconscious are totally in sync. The next time self-doubt creeps in, this is the feeling you have to remember. This is your compass. This is your true north. It's your natural state. And then there's the ultimate evolution, the highest vibration shark dream you can possibly have. You're not swimming with the shark, you are the shark. Let's be clear, this is not a warning, it is an announcement. Your psyche is calling you to step into your apex self. So the only thing left to do is ask yourself, if I truly had this power, what would I do differently today? And then you do that thing immediately. Think about it. A shark never waits until it feels ready. It just moves. And that brings us to the bottom line, the final reckoning, the one single truth that ties all of these different dream scenarios together. No matter what's happening in the dream, it all comes down to this one unavoidable point. So whether it's chasing you, attacking you, or you are the shark, the message, the reckoning, it's the same. Your psyche has dredged this symbol up from the depths for one reason. Something in your life requires your full, unhesitating, apex-level attention, and it needs it right now. This isn't a drill. It's not some cute little metaphor you can analyze over brunch next weekend. It is a direct call to action from the deepest, most primal part of you. So the only question left is, are you going to answer it? Because this dream is your call to action. And in part 3, we're going to show you exactly how to pick up the phone. Part 3. Okay, so you've had the dream. You've even figured out what it means. But listen, now comes the only part that actually matters. What are you going to do about it? This isn't some theoretical exercise. It is not optional. Your subconscious didn't show up for a chat, it showed up for a reason. These applications, they're your response. So find yours and start today. First up, we're doing some internal diagnostics. I want you to think of this like an intelligence operation on your own psyche. We're going to find out what is really going on down there, in the deep water. Application 1. The power audit. Now, this is for you if you're the woman who's been giving her power away, maybe piece by tiny piece, without even realizing it. I want you to set a timer, 20 minutes. And let me be clear, this is not cozy journaling for comfort. This is a diagnostic. Get a piece of paper. At the very top, I want you to write, where am I currently smaller than I am built to be? And then just answer these questions. Don't edit, don't overthink it, just write. Okay, now read what you wrote. I want you to circle this single most painful truth on that page. That circle, that is your starting point. That is exactly where the shark is circling. And you need to feel the urgency here because the longer you stay small in places that just can't hold you, the harder it becomes to even remember how large you actually are. So do this today. All right, application 2 is the dream log practice. This one's for the analytical woman, the one who processes things through data, through patterns. This is not a passive activity. It is an investigation. You are literally building a case file on your own unconscious. So starting tonight, the second you wake up, before your phone, before coffee, before anything, you're going to write for 5 minutes using these prompts. And after 2 weeks, you're going to read all of the entries together as one document. Trust me, the patterns, they're going to surface. Those recurring feelings, that's your subconscious's filing system. It's showing you exactly where your psyche is anchored. But this information is perishable. It fades fast. So you have to start tonight. Application 3, the shark meditation. This is for the spiritually oriented woman, the one who connects through embodied practice. And look, this is not some woo-woo mysticism for its own sake. No, this is a direct, deliberate conversation with your own unconscious mind. Okay, I want you to sit down, spine upright, close your eyes, and breathe. Now, visualize yourself deep beneath the surface of a vast, clear ocean. And now, let the great white approach you. Do not run. Look it right in the eye and ask it out loud, what do you need me to know? Then just sit with whatever comes up. It might be an image, a word, a gut feeling, whatever it is, take it seriously. You absolutely cannot afford to have your most powerful internal intelligence speaking to you and just choose not to listen. Okay, we've done the internal work. Now we move. From analysis to decisive external action. This is all about making real change happen in the real world. Application 4, the boundary installation. This is for the woman who knows deep down that she's in a relationship where someone has been circling her, controlling her, maybe even quietly consuming her. Listen to me, this dream almost always points to a boundary failure, and not one you forgot to set, no. This is one you set, and then you let it dissolve, over and over. I want you to identify the one relationship where your boundary is being trampled, just ignored most severely. Now write that boundary down in one single clear sentence. Got it? Good. Now you're going to say it to that person, directly, just once, no over-explaining, no apologizing. Because here's the brutal truth. Every single time you fail to hold a boundary, you teach people that you don't actually mean what you say. And that is a lesson you cannot afford to keep teaching, so say it, today. Application 5 is the apex decision. This is for you if you've been circling a major life decision for way too long. You know what I'm talking about, the career change, ending the relationship, that big creative leap. A great white shark, it doesn't sit around and deliberate, it moves. From pure instinct, total commitment, full speed. All right, write down the decision you've been circling. Then, right next to it, write the date you first knew what the right move was. Now look at that time gap. That gap between knowing and doing, it's costing you your life. So now, write down the very first single concrete action step it requires. Just one. And you are going to do that step within 48 hours. No extensions, no excuses. You have to make the decision before the decision makes itself for you. Okay, application 6, the community recalibration. This one is for the woman who just senses that her current circle, it's just not her ocean anymore. You have to understand, even apex predators are affected by their ecosystem. If the waters around you are polluted, if they're depleted, that dream is a signal. It's time to migrate. I want you to look at your 5 closest relationships and ask one single, brutal question for each one. Does this person make me more myself or less? And I don't mean more comfortable, I mean more fully, more unapologetically you. For every single relationship that answers less, you need to start creating distance, now. And for those that answer more, deepen those connections, actively. Because your environment is your destiny, it's time to migrate towards your real ocean. Start now. Application 7, the creative activation. This is for the woman whose dream is really about a creative force that she's been keeping locked in a cage. You have to understand something. When a creative woman suppresses her work, it doesn't just go away. No, it becomes the shark, and it begins to hunt her. Name the project, the one you've been putting off. Write it down and give it a completion date. Then you're going to spend 30 minutes on it, today. I'm not talking about planning it. I'm talking about doing it, making something. Because every single day that work sits undone, the shark you've caged just gets stronger. Close that distance. Start today. And now we come to the most important step of all. This is for when the depths are just too deep to navigate alone. This is for when you need a guide. Application 8, the therapist conversation. Listen, if your dream left you shaken, if you felt flooded, or if it cracked something open inside you that connects to real trauma or grief, you need to get help. And hear me on this. This is not weakness. This is the absolute highest form of self-respect. It's recognizing that you do not have to swim in these deep waters all by yourself. So here is your action step. It's simple. Sometime this week, you are going to make one phone call or send one email just to research a therapist. You don't have to commit to anything. This is just to begin. One single point of contact. Help is out there. It exists. And the only thing standing between you and that help is the phone call you haven't made yet. Think about it. Cleopatra had no one to call. You do. And now, the final word. Cleopatra, she was the apex predator of the ancient world. She knew the net was closing in on her, and this is the key to everything. She chose the asp over the cage. You are getting this message right now because your dream is a warning. You're not in a cage, not yet. The net has not fully closed around you. You still have time to move. A life that is decided by default, that is the cage. A life decided by you, that is the choice. The great white shark, it doesn't wait for the current to be favorable. It doesn't wait around to feel brave. It doesn't wait for the ocean to become less frightening, less dark, or less deep. It just moves. So, move.